be making some soap using some menthol crystals, and I know I just posted my shower steamer video last week that seemed to be pretty popular with everybody, so I thought I would go ahead and just share my process here making a new soap, and also just chat with you about your new year and connect with you and see how your new year is going. I'm currently stirring up some of my menthol crystals that I'm going to be using in this soap today. So let me go ahead and open up my chat so I can see all who's here. Let's see. I see Sharon. Hi, Sharon. I'm just trying to bring this up so I can see it in. Hi, Wendy. Nice to see you. Hi, Shakita. I hope I'm saying your name right. Happy New Year, Sharon. Hi, everybody. Hi, Shark City. I love your Instagram. Thank you so much for joining today. Hi, Julie. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Sunshine Travels. Nice name. Hi, Penny. If you're a patron, let me know if you're here as well. Shout out to my patrons. Things are going really well over there. Okay. Hi, Marty. Hi. Hi. Sorry, chat's going kind of fast. Hi, everybody. Okay, Chiquita really wants to learn how to make soap, but rather hands-on. Yes, sometimes just watching the process, couldn't agree more. Is just a nice way to learn. I find that hi Penny and Sharon, both patrons. So glad you could be here today. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my camera a little bit. Hi Vicki, so glad you're here. Hi Karen, I have a lot of patrons here. And same with Shark. Okay, Shark City TV, what's your first name, if you don't mind me asking? Hi, Aisha. Hi, Julie. Lori. Kathy. Okay, she's also a patron. Okay, Jamie. Okay. All right, everybody. So I was currently stirring up my menthol crystals. I don't know if any of you have used these. Hi, Mica from Alabama. But to use them inside soaps and other things. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Charisma. You do have to melt them down in a little bit of a carrier oil. And so what I've done here is hi, Kiki. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying the Patreon so far. I'm glad you've joined. I think you're going to really like the content over there. So I just wanted to bring you guys here today just to kind of discuss some of my New Year's goals for 2022. Hi, Shan from India. So glad you're here. Love the international viewers. Just wanted to also chat with you about what's going on this new year and kind of some of my goals and where I see my channel and my campaign and all of that going. I have a pretty clear vision for this year and just wanted to kind of share it with you guys and ask you what some of your goals are as well for the new year. And then just to answer some of your questions. Hi, Omega. I'm so glad you're here. And just kind of answer some of your questions, and then we can make some soap using the menthol crystals, which I've never done before. So in case you're unfamiliar, so this could go really bad, by the way, because I've never actually made soap with menthol crystals, but I've done a lot of research beforehand, so hopefully, you know, it's gonna go great. But if it doesn't, then you're gonna be right here along the process with me. So this is what menthol crystals look like. They're actually kind of pretty. I've had them for a little while and needed to sort of start using them up. And I thought that these would be a great way to incorporate like a cooling effect in your soap. And I used them in the shower steamer recipe that you guys saw last week. Really, really like the way they smell. And Oh, I love the golds are starting to come in. Yes, yes, those are some great golds, Shan. So in the shower steamers, these provided a really strong kind of menthol sinus clearing effect. And I really have been kind of obsessed with trying to use them in different ways. Tracy's always wanted to make soap and just too intimidated. Well, Tracy, you've come to the right place. Hopefully I can help you, you know, get over that hump of just, sometimes we just have to get up and start. You know what I mean? It is rather intimidating the first time to make cold process soap. I clearly remember the very first time I ever made my first batch of cold process soap, and definitely was scared, and it was nerve-wracking and all of that. But once you get over that hump, it's great. Oh, Kathy, I think you're really gonna like the shower steamers as well. And they're up on the website now too. I don't have a description of product in there yet, but they are up for sale. So if anyone's interested in buying the shower steamers, they are ready to go. I have them set in packs of 4. A chest and sinus salve. Yeah, Julie, they are, with the camphor oil that I used, that's a really good idea. Oh, thanks. Curious C likes my shirt. I got this from Old Navy a few maybe last year or the year before. Yes, shower steamers are awesome. So kind of in this new year, I really want to dig deep and dive deep into more content creating for you guys, for my YouTube channel, and continue to really kind of laser focus on growing my channel and my content. I have realized I really want to start relationship building more. I know that I've done a pretty good job of that, but in this new year, I've really decided I want to focus a lot on, hi Anne. So I really just want to start focusing on bringing you more content. So I'm looking towards, oh, thank you, Shan. Thank you. That's a nice compliment. I really want to focus on growing the channel, relationship building, and putting out more content in addition to the Patreon content, more free content as well. So I took a little poll the other day on my Patreon campaign regarding some of the things you would like to know about, small business related or otherwise, because I want to start giving you guys some more kind of like video blogs or vlogs regarding small business, aspects of small business. Now there is some stuff I probably won't really touch on, and I'll let you know if there's items or topics, I should say, that are something that I don't feel comfortable talking about. Hi, Jenny. So I'll definitely let you know if I get those suggestions coming in that I feel uncomfortable talking about. And sometimes, you know, we like when I told the story about what happened in with my trademark infringement, I had a friend that I have connected with on social media who actually was a friend, I don't know, I probably shouldn't say her name. I'm live and I haven't asked her for permission to say her name, but she'll know who she is if she sees this stream. But we were chatting on social media regarding that thing that happened with the trademark infringement, and I was real upset with it about it at that time when I was talking to her about it, and she told me, you should do a video about this. And hi, Teardrop. And so I decided to get over my fear. So I know there's a lot of things out there that might feel uncomfortable for me to get out and talk about. Some of you might know who've been following me for a long time, and it seems a bit funny because I am going live right now on YouTube, and I do have a pretty okay time talking in front of people because I do have a lot of practice in that in my life. But I do get, I am a pretty introverted person, so I wasn't sure if I was going to share that story. Long story short, I wasn't sure if I was going to share that story regarding the trademark infringement. And then after I did it, I was super glad that I did. It got a great response. And then I started to think, you know, in 2022, maybe I should bring you guys some more vlogs and kind of get over myself a little bit and not be so shy about it. But I find I'm pretty introverted. You probably know that there are some things I keep very guarded. I don't share a lot of stuff on my business pages and stuff regarding my kids. I just really like to protect their privacy and that sort of thing. So you guys have probably noticed that about me over the years. I try to keep myself very much focused on what I'm making and sharing content with you, but I thought I'd really start working on relationship building and growing my channel in that way and giving you some more of that kind of small business content. And if there's anything else, you know, please feel free to give me suggestions on what you would like to see. Yes, Lori, I can get really distracted in all my projects as well. And Lori was just commenting about how she gets distracted and she wants to try new things and things like that. And yes, so I'm going to share with you this week. We're going to be going. Sorry guys, I just got another little notification here that distracted me. This week I'm going to be sharing a body wash tutorial that I think you guys are really going to like, and that video along with the written tutorial and recipe will be available tomorrow. So I'm really excited to be sharing that one with you this week because you guys have been asking me about adding oils into the surfactant based soaps, so that I'm going to be showing you tomorrow. Okay, so let me just go ahead and see that chat. Okay, Hen House Bath Company says, loved the trademark video because it's important to know and appreciate you being vulnerable. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was, Hen House Bath Company. I just felt super vulnerable because I know a lot of people watch my content and I don't usually share like my bloopers or my mishaps, and I felt it did put me in a vulnerable position. But also I knew people would learn from it, so I had to get over myself a little bit. And then Crystal says she would love for me to try Patron products live and discuss your thoughts and advice. Oh, Crystal, that's a great idea. Crystal, I've often thought about trying like my cosmetics and things that I make for my face. Just so you guys can get a good idea of what that looks like. And then, Velvis Trade had a question regarding candle making at home. So that would be a really good video idea, how to avoid tunneling. That's when your candle kind of goes down into like a cave where it's not smooth across the top. It's when your candle kind of caves in. Yes, there are definitely things you can do to fix that problem. So that is something that we can keep in mind for a video idea. Also, some of my goals for the new year are, I think the main one that I mentioned to you was, thank you, Chris. Yeah, I think the main thing I really want to focus on this new year is just really diving deep into the content creating and getting of course, I feel like I do share a lot of recipes with you guys, but there's always so much more to share. Like every time I make something, it sparks another idea as far as in that same category, whether it be body washes, hot processed soaps, candles. So my mind is always working in that direction, but I really want to dive deep into sharing more content with you and uploading videos more than once a week. This channel has grown completely organically from the beginning, and in the beginning I was not a very consistent, I guess the word I'm looking for is consistent. I was not a very consistent uploader. I just kind of did it when I had time, and then that kind of built up to being more consistent as the business grew. And thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I hope you do try it out. Okay, yes, Velvis, so really, to fix that tunneling issue with the candles, really what you're gonna do is change your wax choice. If you have a wax that has a high paraffin content, you are gonna get that tunneling. if you really like the wax that you're using, you could take a heat gun and heat up the top of the wax a little bit after it sets up, and then maybe pour a little bit of wax on top of that to get a smoother top, or you could even pour into the tunneling a little bit with another little layer of wax. I have found that waxes with higher paraffin content will do that. So if you want a wax that's a one pour and done, consider the Joy Wax. You're not going to get very much tunneling with Joy Wax. The apricot coconut wax is great for smooth tops with no tunneling. Also, your pour temperature. Make sure you're checking the manufacturer's directions on the wax. Sometimes if we pour, I think it's too hot. I haven't had a tunneling issue in a long time. And Kiki says she wants to grow her online store. Yep. And learning to formulate. That's a great goal, Kiki. And Jenny says she'd love to see me formulate a cold process recipe using eggs, pine tar, fruits and veggie slurries. Yeah, those are all great ideas. And that's the other thing. I've kind of gotten away from cold process soap. So that was another goal, Jenny. Thank you for reminding me for this year, was I want to start sharing more cold process soap recipes, because I know that that's kind of where my roots lie with this channel. And I know that a lot of people really do still appreciate the soap videos, and hopefully we can do more live events. You're welcome, Valvis. All right. Okay, everybody. I think we're going to go ahead and get this soap making underway. My menthol crystals are starting to kind of re-solidify in this container here. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my camera down so you can see what I've got going on here. And then we're going to get started. And then I will try to answer anything coming up in the chat as we go along. But if not, it's because I've missed it if I'm working. And then Lisa just said hi. Thank you, Lisa. She's also a patron. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, so here's what we're gonna go ahead and do. Let me just get my workstation set up. Also, everybody, I am gonna be, I'm also gonna be sharing with you this recipe. Is there something, hold on a second. Can somebody confirm that they can see? I just want to make sure everyone can see. Just give me a thumbs up if you have a good visual of my workspace here and that my live is still going. Okay. Okay, Holly, we're going to be making soap with menthol crystals. Thank you, Cindy, for letting me know. She's got a good visual of the workspace. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, yes, we're going to be making soap with menthol. And this kind of was spurred by the shower steamer recipe that I shared last week using the menthol crystals. And I got super kind of obsessed with different ways to use the menthol. And last year we did a shower steamers class in my live class tier. And I did not actually melt them down for that class. And then I learned that that's something that you can do and that you can use it in cold processed soap. So we're going to be doing a menthol soap, and I'm going to be sharing with you the recipe. I'll be putting everything in the description box. Hi, Amina. I'll be putting everything in the description box regarding the recipe. I'll be putting the recipe in the description box. And then for my patrons this week, I'll go ahead and write up a detailed tutorial on how to put together this recipe. So if you're a patron, this will be coming into the campaign along with the body wash recipe that I'm sharing this week with you. So in this, I really don't need my scale anymore. So we're just going to go ahead and move that out of the way. So in this container here, I have some olive oil, palm oil, castor oil, coconut oil, shea butter, sunflower oil, and grapeseed oil. Now, for those of you that have never made soap before, soap takes a lot. You have to use a lot of oils to make soap. We're going to be making a 5-pound batch of soap today. And then the additives I'm going to be using are my menthol crystals that I have melted down. I have about 1.6 ounces of menthol crystals melted down in about 1 ounce of grapeseed oil, which I'm going to have to melt down. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to have to melt it down a little bit more before we use it because it's starting to solidify on the bottom. And then we're also going to be using some litsea cubeba. Litsea cubeba is an essential oil that smells just like lemons. And the reason we use it in cold processed soap, for those of you that may not know, litsea cubeba smells just like lemons and it sticks in your cold processed soap. Lemon essential oil will not stick. The pH of your soap gets too high, and during that saponification process of the chemicals turning your soap into soap, the lemon goes away. Litsea cubeba can withstand all those pH changes. If you want a nice lemon essential oil smell in your soap, highly recommend the litsea cubeba. I got mine from Brambleberry. And then we're going to be also using the menthol crystals. So that's going to give our soap a strong minty and lemon type smell. We're also going to be using some Vitaburst beads. These are charcoal beads. I know Jenny, she was saying she didn't know you could use them in cold processed soap. So this is something that I'm also sort of learning as well and became obsessed with it, and I'm so excited. It's going to add a cooling effect to your cold processed soap or any soaps. So I'm using my menthol crystals at 2%. That's the maximum that they suggest for cold processed soap. So then we're going to be doing a two-tone. I'm going to be using some white titanium dioxide. And then someone just said, sorry, I missed that it helps anchor other smells as well. Nice. So that'll be a perfect minty lemony smell, which I love the combination. Hi, Sherry. I'm glad you're here with us. Okay, and then in here I have water. I have distilled water and my lye. So this is a lye and water solution. I'm gonna go ahead and get my gloves and my goggles on before I take the lid off of my lye. And the charcoal beads that we're using, I don't know, you guys. I kind of feel like I think these are supposed to hydrate in water, like if you have it in a water type solution or a gel or even a soap where you can suspend them. They're supposed to hydrate and like burst on contact with your skin. They're not going to do that in the cold processed soap. They're going to act a lot like poppy seeds, like an exfoliant. And in fact, I haven't been able to get them to work the way that I wanted to in soap. I haven't been able to suspend them in soap. I haven't been able to suspend them in gels. So we're just going to use it in cold processed soap. If you have any tips or tricks with that, please let me know. I've been researching that for a while and I don't know why that is not working. So I will be putting all of the recipe in the description box for everyone if they would like to use this, and hopefully this works out great. Let me grab some paper towels. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put my goggles on. Safety first. You definitely want to make sure you have your long sleeves, your goggles, gloves, and all of that. And I prepared all of this last night, but I did rewarm my oils a little bit this morning because they got a little bit cold. It's been kind of cold. So they kind of got foggy, and I wanted to make sure that they were all ready for soap making and not too cold. I'm gonna go pop this back in the microwave for another 8 seconds or so, just to make sure my menthol is completely melted down. So for those of you that have never used menthol crystals in soap or anything else, when you melt it down in your carrier oil, you're supposed to only do it for like real short bursts. So they do melt down pretty quickly. See, that was just 8 seconds. I've never done more than 8 seconds, 5 to 8 seconds max. they melt down. Okay, so I actually think I'm gonna pop this back in one more time, and then I'm gonna put it into a bigger container mixed with my essential oils before we get going. And I got a question regarding my buckets with the lids. I got these at a food supply store. I just store my lye solution in an old lye container, and then that way everybody in my house knows that it's lye. And I keep the lid on it, so if I prepare it overnight, that no evaporation or anything escapes. And it's just safer, it's not gonna spill. So this is just an old lye container that had the lye beads. And then this bucket here I got at a food supply store called Smart and Final in my area. And you can, I think you can find them on Amazon as well, but they are 4-quart buckets, and they're perfect for my 5-pound, my regular 5-pound. So all I'm doing is I'm adding my menthol crystals to my litsea cubeba. That way we're just combining everything before I get started. And I don't really like heating up oils or essential oils, so hopefully this does not solidify, but if it does solidify, I might have to pop it in for 5 seconds or so to get it back down. Okay, we are ready to get going. So first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and I have my stick blender on low. I'm just gonna blend up my oils and make sure everything is combined. Okay. Now I'm just slowly pouring my distilled water, my lye and water solution. I am making this soap with a 10% water discount, which I hope doesn't come back to bite me, because I have learned that menthol can accelerate trace in your soap. So hopefully everything goes well. I'm just bringing this up to emulsification. So I'm making sure that my oils and lye are just slightly combined here, or combined, but haven't really reached trace, just combined. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 colors in this soap. So what I'm gonna do is split this batch. I'm using white as my accent color, and I'll also be placing the charcoal beads into the white portion of this soap. And I've got 2 spatulas here. So this should come together fairly quickly. It smells amazing in here now. I've got the lemon and the menthol all mixed together, and it smells really good in here. Okay, so what I'm gonna be doing is adding in some Siren Song Mica Blue. This is from Nurture Soap. And I'm hoping to get kind of a light, menthol kind of reminds me of a blue. That's okay, Jill. She said, sorry I'm late. It's okay. Yeah, I could pop in anytime. Menthol always kind of reminds me of a cool blue color. So I'm gonna go with 2 teaspoons into this part of the soap, and I'm probably going to add just a little bit of the titanium dioxide. I'm not looking for, this is going to be opaque because it is cold processed soap, but I'm not looking for real baby blue, just, and then I'm pouring the white, the rest of the white into the accent color here, into the smaller container. We're just going to give this a stir by hand in case my batch starts to accelerate with that menthol. Okay, so once I blend this up too, you'll notice that those colors will come up some. So I don't really make a final determination until I've had a chance to really kind of blend it with a stick blender and see where I'm at with it on color. But the white really tends to come up when you blend versus hand stir. So we're going to go ahead and go lightest. There we go. And while I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and, no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to mix up my colors first, and then I'm going to hand stir in the menthol. Sorry, right now I'm blending it maybe a little bit loud while I reach trace. Pretty good. I want the soap to stay fairly fluid. That is a good mentholy blue color. And it will certainly lighten up as it cures. Okay. Thank you, A. Rivera. The stick blender I got on Amazon, I just had a question regarding that this morning as well. I got it on Instagram. I got it on Amazon. It's a Mueller brand. I'll link the Amazon link in the description box. Okay, so this looks like a lot because we did have to melt down those menthol crystals in a little bit of sunflower or grapeseed oil. So it's just gonna add the extra grapeseed oil is gonna add just some super fat to the recipe. So that's why we're adding it at trace. Also, in case it accelerates on me, I wanted to make sure everything was added in at trace. So we're just gonna give this a good stir by hand and see what's going on with the batter before we make any decisions about pouring. So I think this would be a great soap to use after a workout, when you need like some cooling down effect, or just if you want to use it in the shower and kind of wake your sinuses up in the morning, wake your body up. So I would say there's some mild, of course, now that we've added in the extra liquid, it does loosen up the batter a little bit, but I definitely hasn't slowed anything down. And maybe it's, okay, I don't think I'm gonna do anything else to that white. And titanium dioxide also has a tendency to help speed up trace a little bit too. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my charcoal beads to the white part of this batter here. Of course, the package does not want to comply with my gloves and my nails. Probably gonna have to take off my glove here real fast to get that open. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna cut a little bit off the side here And then I'll use a clothespin. There we go. So I don't think those charcoal beads, like I mentioned before, are gonna burst when you use this soap, but rather it's gonna act like an exfoliant. And it adds interest. I think it looks really nice with that blue and the white. So I'm not having any acceleration issues with this soap at all. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of blending just to make sure I bring everything up to the trace that I want. And then we'll go ahead and pour. White, because I really want the white, I really want those black charcoal beads to kind of show up in the soap. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I have another soap, my orange clove soap, that has the same effect. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So we're getting ready to pour already. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour in the blue. See that? It's starting to thicken up. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour that white right down the middle. And it's gonna kind of, you guys, it's not gonna be layered on top. Watch. So that's what I'm doing. It's gonna leave kind of like I guess a cave or an indent of white, but I'm gonna take my chopstick. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom here and just kind of swirl back and forth like this. And my chopstick is touching the bottom. So we should get a nice little swirl of the blue through that white. And that's all I'm gonna do. That's all I'm gonna do to the top. Oh wait, I spoke too soon. I'm probably gonna add a little bit of this silver rainbow random cut glitter to the top, just a little bit. These molds are 5-pound molds from Brambleberry with the silicone liner. Is anyone else having an issue with the visual? No? Holly? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and tap this down a little bit. And then, oh, it smells amazing. I'm gonna spritz this with glitter first. I mean, spritz this with rubbing alcohol first. Then I'm gonna put my glitter down, just a little bit. Okay. And then this glitter I got from Fizz Fairy. I'm just putting a little bit down here just to kind of add to that kind of mentholy cooling effect we've got going on. There we go. Thank you, Jenny. I can't wait to see the way it looks either when I get it cut open. I love the way the blue turned out. That was exactly the color I was going for, and I know it won't stay exactly that color because it is gonna cure, right? It'll come up a little bit, but okay, I'll try to give you a little bit of a close-up here too. And then I'm going to give it one more spritz with the rubbing alcohol. We're using the 99% rubbing alcohol to prevent soda ash. It kind of does look like mermaid tails. Holly, I wonder if you go back and watch this later after it gets uploaded when it's not live, if you're still having the same issues with the visual. Thank you, Michelle. I love this color too. So I'm spritzing this down just to kind of make sure that glitter sticks, and then we're spritzing it to prevent soda ash from forming on the top. A little trick of the trade here, you guys probably already know this, but so Leslie's asking about the water discount. Leslie, you read my mind. I was just going to tell you that the reason we did the water discount is it helps to unmold the soap a little bit easier because your soap doesn't have so much water to evaporate. And also I get less soda ash. I never really get soda ash when I use a water discount. So that's what I was just going to say, a little tip of the trade. Is if, for me anyway, with my recipes, if you use a little bit of a water discount. Thank you, Aziz's Closet. You won't get as much soda ash. I still sometimes get soda ash with tea tree and charcoal. Okay, and I will definitely share the cut in the YouTube community page. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the camera so you guys can see. And Cindy, thank you for saying something. Yes, I do use sodium lactate. It's a 5-pound mold, yes. Now what's going on here? Sorry, everybody. Let me just get this adjusted. There we go, okay. All right, so that wasn't, it smells so good, Kathy. Let me just, I know I'm feeling a little bit tilted here. Let me go ahead and fix this. I hate soda ash as well, but you know what, Nicole? Once you start making a recipe that doesn't have it, stick with those. Let me go ahead and take off my goggles. And you won't always get it. I don't like it when it happens, but using 99% rubbing alcohol is good. Yeah, I know it smells amazing. This is not my first soap of 2022, everybody, but this is one of the first soaps of 2022. So, okay, any other questions? I was so glad I was able to come on here live with you guys today. I'm actually hoping, that was one of my other goals for this year coming up, to give you more of this type of content. The Patreon is amazing. I know I have a lot of patrons that are here with me today on the live, which is also amazing, and we continue to grow the recipes over there every week. Kimberly, so we used litsea cubeba essential oil mixed with melted down menthol crystals. That's okay. So the smell, Kimberly, is like a strong minty menthol lemon, and it's going to have a cooling effect when you use it. So this recipe will be shared in the description box. Thank you, Jill. I really, again, and just in that, when I was talking to you guys earlier about my goal to connect with you more and build relationships, this was part of my goal, was to put some more lives. Somebody said, thank you, A. Rivera. That's a nice compliment. Thank you, Leslie. I'm probably not going to do a live for the cutting, but I will share pictures of it in the community section tomorrow on YouTube, and also Instagram and Facebook. And so you guys will see a picture of the cutting. And I'll probably film the cutting and just put it on my Instagram so you guys can see what it looks like. But I'm not sure I'm going to have time to go live tomorrow. So what are some of your goals this year? I'd love to know, what are some of your small business or hobby goals or soap goals. That's what it looks like to make soap live here. Thank you, Sandra. Leslie, if you just go at Sunshine Soap and Candle Company in Instagram, I'll pop up. Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Same with Facebook. I'll keep the soap in the mold for 24 hours, maybe a little bit less than 24 hours. Tomorrow morning I'll cut. Thank you, Nicole. Kimberly, shampoo bars are amazing. I have a couple great recipes on my Patreon if you haven't seen them already. I have 3 recipes on there now. And Kathy wants to start doing craft fairs. Awesome. Yes. Cindy says her goal is to learn to balance soap making and quilting. That's amazing. I would love to learn quilting someday. I think it's an amazing talent. And Jill says repair from the tornado we had here in Tennessee, replacing a lot of things. Jill, gosh, I'm sorry that you were impacted by that. That looked absolutely awful. I hope that you're able to rebuild soon. Jenny wants to grow her business and work on more focused lists of products. Jenny, that's a great idea. I have to tell you, when you can get real laser focused on stuff and just kind of hone in on those things that are working for you, you'll start to see a difference. And then Royal Chocoberry wants to work on her online store. Yep. And Sharon wants to expand more natural body care business. Good. Those are real popular. All natural products are some of my most popular on my website. Thank you, Aziza. I love the idea. I love these things that you guys are saying in as far as what your goals are, because that's going to help me with some of my vlogs and content and stuff that I want to put out for you. So thank you for sharing. Hopefully I can give you some insight on some of that stuff. Sandra, how exciting. I hope to see you launch this year as well. And Michelle wants to get her website up and running. You know, just that is something I think I do want to do a little bit of a video on. I get a lot of questions regarding what domain, like what host I've used for my website, how I got that started. You guys, I think one of the main things that I can say with regards to that, thank you, Jenny. Yes, Kimberly, detailed bookkeeping. In the last 2 years, I went ahead and hired a bookkeeper and an accountant who keeps my books, and it's been the best thing for me. I was doing it myself for a really long time, and in the last couple years got super bogged down with it. Actually, I shouldn't say I was doing it myself. I was really giving everything over to my husband, who in the last year during tax season was like, we cannot keep doing this, you need to get an accountant. So we did that, and actually they're very reasonably priced. I think I was kind of scared of that price point in the beginning, but once I saw like what I was getting for my value on the bookkeeping side and the accounting side, it was well worth it to me to go ahead and hire someone to do that for me. So if you can swing affording that, I think it's very well worth it. Yep, focusing on consistency, growing your brand. And then with regards to the website, you guys, what I can say about that is my website has evolved over the years. It didn't start out looking the way that it looks today. Like, it was very bare bones, very, you make improvements. The important thing is to get started. You make improvements over the years after you get better. Brand consistency, focusing, yes. And then A. Rivera says, do you write your ideas down as soon as they come to mind, or do you have a good memory? Kind kind of both, Rivera. Sometimes I have ideas that percolate for a long time that I don't write down, and then other times I'll get an inspiration where I'm like, oh my, if I don't write this down right now, it's such a good idea. If I don't write it down right now, I'm not going to remember it. So I do keep a lot of lists. I have some sticky notes on my here, my list ideas. I have some sticky notes on my cupboard. I have some documents on my computer. I have notes inside my day planner. So yeah, it's a constant running list. I'm trying to get my chat back up here. I love all these goals, you guys. This recipe, Aziza, I am going to be putting into the description box below, but I'm also going to be putting it into the Patreon and with a written detailed tutorial. So it's coming, it's going to be on this week. Leslie, I do make balms. I have one in particular that is a go-to one. I know, Jill, good photos are so important, and if you can get some good filter apps on your phone as well. And Julie said, how do you determine the water discount? Julie, I really find between a 10 and 15, 15 being the highest for my recipes, because I usually do about 40% up to 60% hard oils and butters. No, I have done up to 60%, but I usually do around 40% hard oils and butters. So if you do too much of a water discount, you can get cracking in your soap. So if you're around like a 50-50 on your liquid oils and your solid oils and butters, try a 10% discount first, 15 max. If you have mostly liquid oils, 15% should be more than suffice. Silicone molds, yes, and use your sodium lactate. That does make a big difference in unmolding. And it kind of keeps the bar a little bit more long lasting as well, sodium lactate. My favorite supplies, my favorite supply stores are Brambleberry. I've used them from the very beginning of my journey. Also, who else are my favorite? I love Nature's Garden. Love their fragrance oil options over there at Nature's Garden. And then Wholesale Supplies Plus has a huge inventory. Those are kind of my go-to for soap supplies, lotion supplies, and additives for soaps and lotions and cosmetics. And then for like well, there's a ton of stuff at Wholesale Supplies Plus you can find. They have such a huge inventory of additives, things for cosmetic making and soap making. I love Sierra Candles for their fragrances. I also love Candle Science for their fragrances. I've been using more recently in the last couple years Making Cosmetics. Yeah. That's the other thing that Jill mentioned in the chat with regards to leaving your soap in the mold a little bit longer if you're using silicone, especially if you're in a colder, kind of wetter area. I do notice when in the real rainy weather, you know, it takes a little bit longer for the soap to set up. In the summertime, my soap sets up quicker. So you just have to find a recipe that works for you, I think. And then once you get one, you know, hold on to it. And once you find out what kind of works, you can kind of repeat the same sort of processes to get the same result. You know, soap, it can be unpredictable. There's so many factors. Sharon's asking me to list my favorites in my descriptions. Sharon, I'll try to get better at that. I know I get a lot of requests for people asking me to share my favorite suppliers. The truth is, those are Those are mostly my favorite, and I'm pretty loyal. I'm kind of a brand snob in that way. Like once I find something I like from a certain supplier, I will go back over and over for the same thing, even if I'm paying a little bit more, just to make sure my quality is very consistent. So yeah, I'll try to go ahead and share that. I know I do list too, like when I write my tutorials, a lot of times I'll list where I put them. Yes, Sharon, I'll try to get better at putting them in the description box below as well. Um, Sometimes I'll put it right next to the ingredient. Hi, Hecate Goddess. I hope I'm saying your business name correct. I'm glad you're here. So I think I have another 5 more minutes. If you guys have any questions, keep them coming in. Lotion Crafters is one I've just started buying stuff from as well. So yeah, Lotion Crafters, and I haven't really used them that often, but I was able to find some ingredients there that I haven't found other places. Yeah, for cosmetic making stuff. Um, Hecate, yes, I do offer private classes, but they're in a group setting through Patreon. So go ahead and check out my Patreon campaign for the live class stuff. And if you're interested in that, I have recently, if you are here and you are someone that's in my live class tier, I made a little bit of a change for 2022. I hope that you'll like. Yeah, so I've made a few changes on the Patreon campaign. So those are some of my 2022 goals. And again, just to get really laser focused on more good content creating for you guys. I want to really work on that relationship building aspect. I know I've probably said that 10 times by now in this live, but I keep coming back to that. Like, I don't know if you ever get those ideas in your head that just keep kind of circulating back. Like, this is something important that I need to focus on this year. So definitely when I get those kind of moments, I write down the overarching theme of the idea, and then I write down steps of how to achieve that, and I try to stay real consistent. So I hope that that's all something that you guys also find helpful when you're writing your goals for the new year. Of course, I always have my health and wellness goals in mind. Mama of 6, 2010. Just wondering, how is your business going through the pandemic? If you could have storefront, would you be able to make it? Oh, okay. So that's a great question, Mama of 6. Having a storefront personally for me is not in my business plan. And honestly, I just don't want the responsibilities of a store or the overhead. Personally, I know it's a goal for a lot of people. And if that's something that you want to do, I definitely think it's achievable. My business through the pandemic has actually grown, which was something that I was really scared when the pandemic first hit in 2020. I was super scared that it was going to go under, because I saw a lot of people, even in our area, in like our content area, crafters and things like that, were impacted. People that did a lot of craft fairs and things like that were very heavily impacted, and I was very nervous. However, I just really hunkered down and kept focusing on being very consistent, and I think that that's key. I think if you keep doing that, I think that you will see your business grow in the way that you want it to grow. And if that means you want a storefront, I encourage you to just really explore your options there and see what that looks like for you. I know you can do it if it's something that you want to do. But for me personally, that's not a goal for my business, and it's not in my business plan. I thought for a while when I first started, I had dreamed of like opening a store and having a storefront. And then as I really got into creating and making, I have determined that that's not really something that I want to do. Having a storefront is not something I really want to do. I enjoy going into other people's Bath and Body stores and seeing what they have, and I think it's amazing when people can open a storefront, but yeah, it's just not some, and there's actually some areas in my town where I think would be a great location for opening up like a Bath and Body soap candle store. And a long time ago, I did have aspirations for that. But yeah, I think for me, I really, really like being creative, and I don't always carry the same things on my website. And so with that type of thing going on in my creativity and how I make my money and things like that, the website has just been a better option. Online sales has been a better option for me, especially with the overhead and things like that. So I like to share what I like to create. I like to share what I create, and then those things are the things that I sell, if that makes sense. So I'm not always super consistent on the things that I carry. And I think for a storefront, you would want more of that type of consistency. That's my rant. But you know, if that's something that you want to do, I definitely think you can. I certainly, starting out in my business journey, I certainly had my doubts and things along the way, and still do some days. So yeah, just reading through some of the comments here with regards to storefront. Shark City, yes, I have noticed that you guys do have a storefront, and it looks amazing. So I just wanted to mention that. Her products, I've actually been meaning to order some of the supplements and things that you guys offer. Shark City, you guys, check them out on Instagram. She has a lot of really interesting products that look amazing. My favorite scent from Sierra Candles, I have a new one. It is actually, is it out? It's not out. My favorite one currently, because this changes for me a lot, from Sierra Candles is the Scarlet Poppy. It's a Joe Malone dupe, and if you haven't tried it, you guys, it's amazing. You could use it in bath bombs, which I've done. They sold out. Those bath bombs sold like crazy for me. Thank you. Thank you, Shark City. I know I keep calling you that, and I should refer to you as your name if you're comfortable sharing, but I would love to sample some of your products. That would be awesome. Just message me and we'll work it out. All right, everybody. Well, it was fantastic connecting with you today, and this is step 1 in my New Year's resolutions and my business goals, to connect and build relationships with you all. So I hope you're having a wonderful New Year and a wonderful day. And I will share pictures of this cutting and maybe a little bit of a video on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me over there. I'll be sharing the cut of this soap. Probably not live, but definitely a video of it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon. Jamie, that's right. I knew that. You've already told me. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.